looking for?
This is your third or fourth special?
My fourth.
Wow.
Yeah, my fourth, and then
what gets easier about them as you go along? Really?
Yeah, it's actually gotten harder. I think because it's like Comfortably Dumb. I just told all the jokes I had.
Right.
That was it. I was like just told every joke I had.
My first special.
Yeah. The Machine, I had a good length of time between that. Like probably I want to say like 8 years or something. I don't know when I did The Machine. But like maybe 7 years, 5 years, but I had some time. And I had this Machine story worked out, and I knew that was the end. I knew that was going to end it. And I had these great stories. I had these stories that were really working, like Fighting a Bear, Jumping Out of a Plane with Rachel Ray, The Machine. So all I needed to do was tether them together. And then, by the way, there's no pressure. It was Showtime. Everyone was like, no one's going to watch it. And no one did, but that Machine story went viral. So then there was like a little bit of an expectation when I did my next one, but not much, because Netflix was like, yeah, well, we'll do a special with you. They didn't say like, we want to do a special. They were like, we'll do a special with you. So we did the Secret Time, and the Secret Time was the first ever successful thing I ever did in my life.
Wow.
Where I was like, actually, no lie, that was the first successful thing I ever did in my entire fucking career. And by the way, I'd been in the business 20 years.
Wow.
And that was the first thing I did that anyone ever watched.
And what determined for you that it was successful?
I was able to sell a tour. I was able to sell.
Oh, I see.
I did Secret Time, and then, like, I mean, when the Machine went viral, that sold out comedy clubs for like 2 years.
Wow.
2 years straight, 3 years, I could sell at all comedy clubs. And then when I did Secret Time, everyone, your team says, all right, we're going to make the leap to theaters. And you're like, I don't really give a fuck. The money at comedy clubs is just fine. And you got to take a hit unless you do really successful. And when Secret Time came out, I just didn't have the radar to like. I didn't know that people had watched it. I didn't know that anyone liked it. I didn't know that it was any good. I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I just did it. These were the thoughts I had. I had hung out with D'Elia. D'Elia said no one watched after 30 minutes of special. So for Secret Time, based on that simple conversation I had with D'Elia, I took all the best material that I had that had been spread throughout with a closer. I moved the closer to 22 minutes, and I took anything that popped and I moved it up front. Like I front loaded the fuck out of that special.
Wow.
And because I did, people got to the closer and were like, well, fuck it, I'll watch the rest of it. And so that was like probably the easiest I had, because I had no shame about it. I didn't mind promoting the fuck out of it, because I was like, I've been failing my whole life. This is going to fail, but I'm not going to let it fail. I'm going to just swing. Every attempt I get, I'm going to swing for the fences and try to get it to succeed. Yeah. And then it did, and then this one was like when you say, this one was really stressful, because I was like, I'm trying some different stuff. I'm doing the stuff that I do well, like talk about my daughters, talk about my wife, talking about my family, talking about being a bad dad, about drinking. We got an adventure story. Like I do all the things, but then I was like, I would watch comics that I loved do the exact same thing that they had done in the previous special, meaning like it was almost like
keep riding the same pony,
exact same horse, and
it never changed. Yeah.
It never changed, and it bummed me out, because I was like, in my head silently I go, I thought you were better than that. Like I thought you were better than me, and I know I wouldn't do that. And Burr was like, fucking, Burr and Rogan are two dudes that have said throwaway things to me that I've hung my fucking hat on.
Wow.
And Burr said one time, something to the effect of, if you're not challenging yourself, then you're not getting better. And if you're not getting better, then why would anyone want to watch you? So I legit challenged myself. I said, I talked to Stanhope, and Stanhope, he was drinking one morning, and I was like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm writing knock jokes. And I went, what? He's like, yeah, I'm writing goofs, man. Like just goofs. I'm fucking around. I'm not writing material. I'm just working with my brain.
Working his brain, getting the brain to really do something.
And he's like, we're as funny as those guys, right? We got to be as funny as those guys. I was like, yeah. He's like, there's no way they're funnier than we were. We're funny, so why can't we write knock jokes? I went, yeah, why not? And then I started getting obsessed with Norm Macdonald. He's a guy that could write a knock joke. Like he's a guy who could take a standard structured joke and then make it. Now me, I'll speak only for me, but I think all of us, me, you, Segura, like our group of guys, D'Elia, Santino, all of us, we do what we do in our own way, but it's not traditional stand-up.
Right.
So, and I'm not gonna go into that, I'm gonna do traditional stand-up. I was like, would like to challenge myself to write a guy walks into a bar joke.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I think it's good, and I think it's probably the best joke I've ever written. But I don't think you'd know it's a guy walks into a bar joke unless I told you, and then you go, oh shit. And so I did that. I tried to do this thing about this gun bit, which I think is one of the better bits I've ever written.
I've seen that. I believe that I seen you do that bit at the Comedy Store, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good.
Yeah, and so I just try to challenge myself, and if I succeeded, then great. But if I didn't, you still got the stuff you loved what I did. And I think it's exactly what you said about your special. That's how I feel right now. I'm super proud of this fucking thing. But like, you don't know. I don't want to be like some guy that's like.
And who would I be if I think there's definitely a thing of learning to be proud of things, and then there's also a thing of constantly, okay, how am I going to challenge myself again? Where am I going to move the bar? Am I going to stay in this safe zone?
Take a look at where you've challenged yourself. Like I heard a joke that you threw away the other day, and I thought, old Theo. Someone was telling me this joke. They go, it was a throwaway. I brought it up to Theo, and he was like, oh yeah, whatever. And I thought old Theo would have hung his hat on that joke, and that would have been his act, and he would have said every night on stage. Where you are today, because you've challenged yourself and taken fucking big strides, now you're fucking where you're at in stand-up's next fucking level. But you got it. We always challenged ourselves when we were younger.
Yeah.
We always think about it. If you stayed where you were at an open micer and you were like, I'm getting laughs, that's what I'll do. We know those guys.
Yeah.
Then they stayed here the whole time. But instead, some guys, you get those laughs in open mics, you're like, I'm actually better than those cheap laughs. I got this.
Yeah, the cheap laughs scare me now because sometimes I want to tell a joke. I don't know something new to do.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on stage that much, but I want to do something new, and I'll be like, man, there's a couple of cheap jokes that I really like that, 5-8 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, definitely. But now I'm like, I just can't do that. It's not going to make me feel good.
Dude, when we worked together in San Francisco, and you sat down and you told a solid 8-minute story about that Mexican man that went to school with you.
Oh yeah.
I'm on the floor. You would have never had the balls to do that in what it was like 800 people. You would never have the balls to do that when you first started, but you challenged yourself. And I think we have to keep doing that as comics when we do specials. We can't just go, well, Secret Time worked. Let me just do a carbon copy of that. Change out the punchlines, but same structure. That structure works.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do that again? Well, I think it's, and I might be thinking way too much about it. I know that there's probably guys like Rogan will probably be like, dude, just be funny. Yeah. Burr would, and even after all Burr's advice, he'd be like, bro, just be funny. Remember, that's like the rule.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to fucking sit here like a workout class.
Yeah, we don't have to save the world. We don't have to. Yeah. In
just
the end,
make me laugh.
Have to be funny. Yeah. But also at a certain point, you have to make yourself laugh too. You have to, or you're just not going to care about it. You're just not going to be, unless you're a joke writer. If you're a storyteller, then I think it's different. I
think we're storytellers, and I think we take people places. And if you want to be a good storyteller, you gotta figure out new ways to. I mean, the way you're telling stories now, man, no one's doing it like you. And
thanks, man.
It's the truth, and everyone talks about it. Fucking everyone talks about it. And but you didn't just show up with that. You had to work there. Right. And so why would you ignore that? Why would you go, okay, I'm here, I'm done. I'll just do this for the rest. I'll do this exact same thing for the rest of my life.
But do you ever think like, oh, am I going to be stuck? Do you ever think, though, that I'm going to be stuck here? Yeah. Like I'm just going to be able to do this? Or do you think like, oh, okay, I will continue to evolve? Do you ever just wonder for yourself, like, will I continue to evolve? I think everybody kind of wonders that, like, is the gas tank going to run out,
I feel like that.
Yeah.
Because I get in my own way. It's like, because I did Travel Channel for so long. And then when I got out of Travel Channel, I was like, I found success in podcasting and stand-up. And that was it. And I went, fuck it, I'm done. And I literally turned a middle finger to everyone in Hollywood. And they'd be like, hey, we want you to do this. I would pass. I want you to do this, pass. And then everyone came at me with a project, and I passed on everything. And then one day I went, I remember someone got like a movie. I mean, Tom did a movie maybe or something. I only say Tom because I talk to him so much, but Tom did a movie with Marky Mark, and I was like, why would you do that? And he was like, well, you gotta try new stuff. And I was like, what do you mean try new stuff? Like, it's who the fuck wants to be in a movie with Mark Wahlberg? And he was like, it's a life experience. Right. Like, don't you want to try shit? And then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should also, maybe I have time to also do other stuff. And then I was like, okay, like let's do a series. And so we did a series with Netflix. And then I was like, oh, maybe we can do a sitcom. I wouldn't mind doing a sitcom. And then I started going like, hey, I'm cool with doing a movie also. Like I can be in this lane and then do other stuff around. I got in this mindset where you look at Rogan, who's our fucking he's our messiah, man. And I don't mean that like in a Jesus way, but like he's our guy. Like
right, he's a template.
He's a template, and he's put us all over and gave us all amazing opportunities, and every single one of us acknowledge it. But in acknowledging it, you also see that path that he carved through stone for himself, and you realize, man, if I stay in that path, I got a great life. Like I can just do podcasts, just do stand-up, do spots at the store, the Improv, the Ice House, and fucking there is room to grow.
Yeah.
But you also got to go, hey, man, I'm also not Joe. I'm not the best listener. Like, I'm not the best interviewer. I don't know what I have no discipline.
Not as smart.
I'm not as smart. So maybe I should also try the things that I'm also really good at.
And I'm saying that for myself. Yeah. I'm thinking
too.
of myself. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a window licking ninny. Like, I'm definitely
I'm not saying that you're not as smart, but yeah, we're not as smart.
I'm not Joe Rogan, I'll tell you that, man. I found that out many times the hard way.
Yeah. I'm slow Rogan, I think.
I'm Mo Rogan, one of the 3 Rogans. Yeah. There's Larry, something, and Mo.
Slow and Mo. That's funny.